Long ago, in a kingdom that seemed to overflow with endless gold and a pride just as vast, there lived a king. This king was a man who held a simple belief. Wealth was power, and power was everything. He built his life, his reign, and his very identity upon this foundation of glittering metal and absolute authority. His palace gleamed under the sun, a testament to his immense riches, a monument to a man who thought he possessed all that mattered in the world. But the more gold he amassed, the more an unspoken emptiness seemed to echo through the grand gilded halls of his heart. One day, a figure appeared at the gates of his court, a stark contrast to the opulence that surrounded him. It was a monk, walking with bare feet upon the polished marble floors. He carried nothing but a simple wooden bowl, yet his face was alight with a smile of profound peace. He moved with a grace and serenity that seemed to radiate from within, a light untouched by the greed and ambition that fueled the kingdom. The king, seated upon his throne, was immediately intrigued by this man who possessed nothing, yet seemed to own the world. He observed the monk, a puzzle he couldn't solve with his worldly riches. The king, his curiosity getting the better of him, beckoned the monk forward. "Holy One," he began, his voice a mix of genuine interest and slight amusement, "you walk through my kingdom with nothing to your name. You have no gold, no land, no army. Yet you smile as if you hold the secrets of the universe, as if you own the world itself. Tell me, what is this secret you possess? What is the source of this unshakable joy?" The monk simply smiled back, his eyes clear and calm. "I own nothing, my king," he replied gently. "But more importantly, nothing owns me." The king let out a hearty laugh, the sound echoing through the throne room. The idea was absurd to him. Nothing owns you. A clever play on words, perhaps, but words don't fill a treasury or build an empire. If this piece you speak of is truly worth more than gold, then I challenge you to prove it. Trade me your simple bowl for all the treasures in my vault. Take my riches, and let me see if this piece of yours can be bought or sold." The king gestured, and a massive chest was brought forward, its lid creaking open to spill forth a blinding light from mountains of gold coins, jewels, and precious artifacts. The monk looked at the shimmering treasure, then his gaze drifted down to the fine layer of dust on the ground at his feet. He didn't seem tempted by the gold. Instead, he bent down slowly. "I will take your gold, Your Majesty," the monk said, his voice soft but clear. "But first, you must take this dust from me." He scooped up a handful of soil and held it out. He then let it fall through his fingers, a fine cascade of earth returning to the floor. The king watched, confused by this strange request, not understanding the lesson that was about to unfold before his very eyes. "This dust," the monk continued softly, his voice carrying a weight of ancient wisdom, "is the very foundation of your kingdom. This dust built your magnificent palace, brick by brick. This dust is what nourishes the fields that feed your people, providing the sustenance for every life within your domain. And one day, Your Majesty, this very same dust will gently cover you too, returning all that you are back to the earth." The king stood frozen, the monk-ass words piercing through his layers of pride and arrogance like a shard of pure light. He looked from the gold to the dust, seeing them both in a completely new way. As the monk spoke, a profound shift occurred in the room. "Gold," the monk explained, his eyes seeming to hold the wisdom of the cosmos, "only shines when there is an external light to reflect. It needs the sun or a lamp to reveal its luster. Without light, it's just a cold, dark metal. But gratitude, my king, gratitude is a light of its own. It glows from within, even in the deepest, most absolute darkness. It is a wealth that can never be stolen, a light that can never be extinguished." The king, utterly speechless, felt the gold coins he was clutching suddenly feel heavy and worthless. A wave of understanding washed over the king. He saw his life's pursuit for what it was, a chase for fleeting reflections, for a glitter that depended on external validation. In that moment of profound realization, he dropped to his knees. The gold coin slipped from his trembling hands, clattering onto the marble floor, the sound hollow and empty compared to the truth that now filled his heart. For the first time, he understood the monk's words not as a riddle, but as a fundamental truth of existence. The weight of his crown and his riches was replaced by a lightness he had never known. From that day forward, the king's life transformed. He began to give away his gold, not as an act of charity, but as an act of liberation. He traded his vast material wealth for something infinitely more precious. He found the joy in giving, the connection in community, and the richness in simplicity. He learned to see the value not in what he could accumulate, but in what he could appreciate. And for the very first time in his long, prosperous life, the king, stripped of his gilded cage, finally found true, lasting peace. He discovered that the greatest treasure was not in his vaults, but within his own grateful heart. This story reminds us of a timeless choice we all face. You can spend your entire life chasing what glitters, relentlessly pursuing the next shiny object, the next promotion, the next possession, hoping it will bring you happiness. Or you can choose to touch what truly matters. You can cultivate a heart of gratitude, find richness in your relationships, and see the beauty in the simple, dusty elements of life. Because in the end, it is only gratitude that holds the incredible power to turn the ordinary dust of our existence into a sky full of brilliant, shining stars. True wealth is, and always will be, peace. If this story touched your heart, think about sharing it with someone you know who might be chasing gold, but truly deserves to find peace. Your journey and theirs can be illuminated by this simple truth. Please consider subscribing to our channel, liking this video, and sharing it to help spread this light to others. Thank you so much for watching and being a part of our community.